Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Moonlight Zone channel. It's your boy Moonlight, and let me tell you something, man. I'm with my boy Ganza. If you don't know Ganza, you ain't lit. I'm telling you. As a music lover, as a music fan, as I used to do my thing back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Don't
sir.
ask me about right now, but um, I got my boy Ganza right now, all the way from TX, Dallas, Texas. And thank you, Ganza, for holding me down and willing to talk to the audience and my viewers in order to basically inspire all of those guys who would like to be self-confident, but also to know that they can do whatever they want in their lives without necessarily fearing, what other people will say or judge or whatever, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look,
But in the meantime, please allow me to introduce my guest Ganza because his resume is impeccable. His resume is basically out of this world. If you're talking about entertainment on every level, music, photography, uh, artistry basically in general. Please allow me to read his bio. Didier Ganza has been active in the entertainment business for many years and has always had passion for bringing people a better quality of entertainment. Born and raised in Rwanda, Africa, he left a suffering of good entertainment amongst his people and set out with a vision to change that, whether it is the area of film, dance, music, or events. He makes sure his work inspires people to dream. He started this long-standing infatuation at an early age, uh, dance being his first captive in the entertainment field. He quickly grew to be admired and gained notoriety throughout Rwanda as being one of the most revered dancers in the country. Ganza earned that level of respect by winning several dance competitions, one of them being the Masters of Rhythm in South Africa, which he took first place in freestyle first quarter, but never made it to the finals. Not long after his dancing career started, uh, Didier Ganza got together with some close friends and birthed Six City Entertainment. Six City was built to bring Rwandans and eventually the rest of Africa better events with even better entertainment. He and his colleagues hosted events and promoted artists, gaining quite a big following. Doing so, everyone knew who Ganza was. I was always active, Ganza says, on billboards, on the radio. I never saw myself as one specific thing I can do. I always wanted to do a whole lot of things to entertain people. That is Ganza. I quote his own words. In 2007, Didier Ganza started working at local radio station Contact FM, where he interviewed some of the biggest artists in Africa. After building his small empire back home and becoming a local celebrity, Didier Ganza decided to move stateside to Storm Lake, Iowa, to attend Buena Vista University for international business and eventually landed at Full Sail University for film not too long after that. He is currently making a name for himself in the photography portion of the entertainment industry by releasing his quality music videos for artists around the world that has the internet talking. Dieter Ganza has made a vow to set the standard of entertainment at a higher caliber and plans on doing so at any cost. Make sure you stay tuned to hear what the future holds for this pioneer of our modern era. Bro, I think resume speaks for itself. Um,
That sounds good.
yeah, absolutely. I would like to tell everybody who's watching us right now that this is actually my first time to actually video call with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know we've talked, on the phone a couple of times, as far as planning this moment, but you and I literally we haven't talked before. It's
Yeah.
just today for this special occasion, and I can tell you, man, as a big fan, I've always heard of Ganza before. Um,
Yeah.
as one of these huge dancers in Rwanda and everything like that. And after that, I heard you were here in America, and I've always wanted to talk to you because I've always felt like, music industry, dance industry, or artistry in general can use
Yeah.
somebody who's experienced to kind of inspire people and make them understand that, um, you know, being an artist can actually get you to a level where you don't necessarily have to be judged, for not having anything to do. Because back in the day, people used to think that artists, people become artists because they don't have anything else to do, right?
Yes, sir.
But
Yeah.
now, being an artist is another profession, just like any other. So,
Yes.
um, please, briefly, walk me through your career path. When you started to actually, when did you feel like you wanted to actually, become an artist? Because being an artist, you're doing a lot of things. It's not just being a dancer, a
Yeah.
choreographer, but you also a videographer. You're a music producer. You basically have a combination of talents when it comes to artistry. When did you first become, or when did you actually feel like you wanted to do this?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you very much for having me on here.
Yes, sir.
I've always wanted to be a part of what you got going on.
Yes, sir.
Just as much as you've been watching me, I've also been watching you.
Thank
There
you,
is a
sir.
lot of things that I quite admire on your side, and I've always wanted to hold a conversation with you and really chop it up and talk about different things, you know.
Yes, sir.
But as far as the question, when I started really getting involved into the arts, I've always been influenced by art ever since I was at a young age of 4 years old. A 4-year-old child. I was in my, of course, I'm at my father's house, and he would always have entertainment coming in. So I was born a refugee. I was born in Congo, like in 1988. And during that time, Rwandans used to always, practice cherishing or even celebrating their culture because they're outside the country. So my father and my mother used to invite people to come over to the house, sing, dance. So I feel like that was the first time I really truly enjoyed entertainment, solely because the people performing, they're performing for the visitors, Vaje, Abashitsi, and stuff like that. And you realize that the kind of joy that a performer is bringing is something unmatched. There is nothing that can quite match it, because all they are doing is exploring their talents. And as a result, someone who might have had a bad day is going to go home feeling great,
Right.
And at a very tender age of 3 years old, I was really exposed to that. There's even videos of me dancing in front of a dance troupe. As they were dancing, you could see Ganza coming in front of them and trying to, move
Uh-huh.
like them. So that was my first exposure to art,
Uh-huh.
and I'm glad that all these things, all this was happening to me as I was in Congo, because Congo is known to be a rich country far as art is concerned. There are people who know how to express themselves. So even out there, you're being exposed to Papa Wemba, Kofi Olomide, the music, Rumba, you're really being influenced by different genres. So your mind is like exploring everything. But at the time, I wouldn't really tell you that I knew what I was doing. At the time, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just admiring what was around me, what was in my environment.
Yeah.
But it was until I would say it was 2004, 2003, 2004 that I really started taking it seriously. It came. What had happened is that at the school that I used to go to, they used to have these talent shows every year, and because I was in secondary 3, so it was we were supposed to perform at the time. So people knew me in class. I was the clown class. I was the clown of the class, always making people laugh, dancing, having fun, too much energy. So they gave me the responsibility. You're going to represent the whole class. You're going to create choreography and you're going to represent the class. So it was my first exposure to performing on an actual stage, even though the people in front of me are people I go to the same school with. But it kind of left me, one, it was breathless. I really, people were blown away as to how much energy I was performing on stage. It was as if Ganza is a different person to the person who gets on stage. When he gets on stage, is a completely different person. You can see Ganza, you can probably think he can dance, you have an idea that he can dance, but it's until he gets on stage that he feels like he's gonna really truly express himself.
Yeah.
So when that happened, and of course, inshuti zigatangira kuza kukubwira ukuntu wakoze and stuff like that, and how you inspired them, you're like, you know what, I'm going to pursue this full time.
Yeah.
So lucky enough, that talent show, people who attended were dancers who were, there was a dance troupe at the time. It was the biggest dance troupe in Kigali. It was called Cool Family. So
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So they recruited me. After the recruit, that was the time I started. I met everyone. That's when I really met everyone who was passionate about putting Rwanda on the map as far as entertainment is concerned. I met Casanova there. I met Jali there. Jali, the French singer. Like you start really running into people who you share the same ideas, and then that's when it really started getting serious, and we started having concerts at Centre Culturel Française, and that was the time really I decided that this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life. It didn't really matter to me what anybody thought. It wasn't easy. Good thing is that I had my father who was always supportive of what I was doing. And even though he didn't understand it, he was always behind it. And as a matter of fact, my first concert in Rwanda with Cool Family, my father attended the entire concert from the beginning to the end, which is something you wouldn't hear a lot of Rwandan parents say. It was something of a monumental thing for me especially, and it gave me the confidence to pursue that career or that passion for the rest of my life, because of my father giving me the green light and also seeing that people do enjoy what I do on stage. So that's how I started taking the path towards entertainment and dance.
Wow. That is amazing, man. So first of all, kudos to your father for embracing your talent and actually, supporting akagushyigikira muri ibyo bikorwa byose wakoraga.
Yes.
Kubera ko bitewe n'umuco wacu hari ukuntu umwana yatangiye kujya mu bintu byo kubyina, akajya mu bintu nk'ibyo ngibyo, baravuga ngo yatangiye kuyoba. Yakajya kujya mu bintu by'uburara n'ibiki byose. So I'm very, very, happy that your dad actually embraced you and, your artistry. And, he's a cool dad because he allowed you to be who you are,
Absolutely.
And, which actually ended up taking you far, which, we'll talk about, because, if he didn't, iyo ataza kugufasha muri ibyo byose ntabwo uba warageze aho uri ngo wi-expressinge wumve yuko ugomba gukora ibintu bijyanye na art n'ubundi wagiye ukora byaturutse kuri passion yawe, as a kid, so ubaye nta muntu utazi Cool Family. Yewe personally nagiye muri nuza performance at Cool Family. I pay my own money. Well, I don't know if it was actually my money, or I don't know if somebody paid for me, but yeah, I was broke back back in the day. You know what I mean? But
you have to get in, bro.
All I know, I don't know who paid for me, but all I know is that I went to a lot of Cool Family shows. Awesome. It was very, very inspirational, as a kid, as a guy who was in high school. It was very important to, to attend that kind of shows, not just to, seem cool to other people, your peers, but also, it built some kind of confidence, you know what I mean? Like meeting, other kids from other schools and, things like that. So, it builds confidence more than people will actually think. So
absolutely. Very true.
Ndaguha respect kabisa ku bintu bijyanye na art yawe no kuba part of Cool Family. So as far as other groups, hari indi group wari uzi icyo gihe yabaga yahangana na Cool Family na Teens United?
Yes, there was Bad Boys, there was Just Family, there were plenty. There were plenty crews. Now, like what you were saying, ibyo twakoraga babyitaga dance moderne too. Like that was the name they used to give it. And buriya hari umugani bajya bavuga ngo nta mwotsi nta muriro, right? Right?
Ahari umwotsi haba hari umuriro.
Right? So like the kind of like the reputation what dancers had in Rwanda, it was a result of like we also have to speak on the fact yuko umwana nageze imyaka 14, 15, 16, they start to become rebellious. It's natural in that sense. Right? So rebelliousness comes with being influenced by your environment. Chances are that's what you're going to engage in. So the parents were mu Rwanda babonaga yuko ibi bintu byabaga mu makuru cyane kandi nanje even at a young age, I was like 16, 15 when I joined the crew. I could see all those things, that influence. It was there. However, there were many people in the crew who were there for the passion of dancing.
Yes, sir.
Ariko tukaba overshadowed by people doing the wrong acts. Bagakora completely something that is different from what a dancer has to do. A dancer is like an athlete, There's no difference. Okay, yeah, I was about to say there's no difference between a basketball player and a dancer, which would be factual because you have to practice, you have to maintain the right discipline, and you have to have all these things to cultivate and to support your gift. Ariko none ugasanga niba umwana avuye mu rugo agiye kubyina akaba ariyo excuse yabonye yonyine akumva yuko agomba gukora ibintu bibi byose kuri uwo igihe yabonye urwo ruhushya noneho yataha mu rugo bigasiga irangi abandi bantu bose. We become the rotten apples too, right? One rotten apple is just gonna
affect everybody.
It's gonna affect everybody. So it was the rumors were right. The things, the reason as to why parents didn't want their kids to go participate in those things, they were there, they were present. So nabirebaga muri ubwo buryo, but then you meet people within those crews who are really truly there to ensure that they are constantly improving, aho twatangiriye, like really if you look at Rwanda as far as entertainment, it didn't start with singers. If you're going to start with singers, uravuga Kamariza, uravuga Cecile Kayirebwa na Samputu, right?
Yeah.
But really the rock stars after those people were the dancers. The
Yeah.
dance crews, they were the ones. Niko twagendaga mu maconcert, twagendaga ntabwo twagendaga muri concert yo kujya kumva umuntu uririmba, twagendaga muri concert tubona abana bagiye kubyina.
Bajya kubyina, yes.
Akagukubitira Michael Jackson, undi akagukubitira. That was what our entertainment was at the time.
Yeah.
So it was loud. Everybody wanted to be a part of it. Nanjye nari ndi muri ba bana bicaraga bakagenda bakagura ticket baganga bakicara bakareba Cool Family, right? Ukagenda kabibyo ufata umunsi wawe wose ukavuga ngo ngiye kubareba. But then we never knew what was happening behind the curtains, you know. However, there were parents of those children behind those curtains who would be disappointed by what their children were doing, and as a result, encourage other parents not to have any other parents in having their children participate. So I met a lot of resistance, even trying to get inside. For far as, you know, my mother did not quite agree with it. She didn't agree with the direction I was taking because, of course, umwana mu Rwanda with the entire village.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? You're raised by everyone at home. Therefore, it was necessary that I showed discipline so as for my father to support me. My father, the only reason he was able to support me is because I wouldn't show up at home passed out. I wasn't drinking. I wouldn't show up at home. I wouldn't act out. I was never the type to go out to club. I was really passionate about dancing. Dancing is what I was focused on. However, growing up in a society where everyone wants to do what everyone is doing, it seemed like even those who wanted to dance, however, would be ugasanga kubahagarika kutajya kubyina ahubwo ugasanga they create that rebelliousness that is already there as teenagers. So like it multiplies.
Bakanatoroka ahubwo.
Bakagutoroka, and then they go even do more. So it was a learning experience for me. And with time, I went on, you know, seeing other crews come in and maintaining a certain discipline. And then it really all turned around when I went to South Africa. When I went to South Africa to pursue education out there, I saw what dancers do, right? I learned. I was there as a I was like a sponge. I was just really soaking in whatever information that was there. And once I joined the crew, it was about practice, gym, right? Rest. And then tomorrow we are back at it again. Back
like
to
professional stuff, basically. Yeah.
You know? And then now, like when you're joining a crew like that, you're really starting at the you're starting at the bottom, right? It's not like this was a crew that was performing in big concerts. However, it was just a standard.
Yeah.
Because niba baguhamagaye for an audition, bakavuga dufite audition, such and such artist is going to perform and they need dancers. You want to be in the best shape possible. You know?
Absolutely.
Kandi niba uri kubona nka choreography, iyo baguhereje choreography, I mean, your wife was a dancer. I don't know if she's still a dancer.
Yeah, she still is. She's a pro. I always look at her, man. She's a beast, man.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a structure. And kugira ngo ushobore gufata choreography, non hidi complex. When it's complex and it's in front of a stage and it's something of a magnitude that you've never dealt with, you want to have a sharp mind. Kuburyo waifata ako kanya, kuko auditions, it's what? 45 minutes, and they have multiple dancers that they have to see at that specific time. So you have to make sure that you're on your A game. So your discipline, umaze kuyiga muri South Africa. I lived in South Africa for about 4 years. I immediately took that. Mvuye muri South Africa, nsuye mu Rwanda. I was like, I'm not. Ngeze mu Rwanda nasanze Cool Family itakiba. It had split up into 2 groups, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was so much of a disappointment for me because these people kind of like paved the way for me. And now I was coming back home and they were not available. So rather than dwell on it, nanjye nkavuga ngo kubyina ndabiretse ntago nzabikomeza. I was like, you know what? I got a piece of paper and on top of that paper, naandikaho Six City Entertainment. And I started writing as if I was writing for the Declaration of Independence, right? So the first like yarupapuro rumwe ntangira kwandika amategeko agenga crew ya 60 ndandika like first line, show up on time, perfect attendance, repetition, no drugs, no alcohol in the premises. Now, I'm not stopping people from doing what they are doing. Ariko, it's not going to be done in the premises where we are practicing.
Right.
You know? And then we go on that piece of paper. I had multiple rules that had to give people the impression that I was dead serious about business. And then I started recruiting dancers. Of course, I started with Cedric. Cedric, who was my a very good friend, one of the cool family members. I met him there, really showed me the whole game. And he was one of those first partners that I got. And then I got also other partners called the Victor. I got also, I got many people really involved, my brother. And then we started building a crew. We were like 10 people. So we started really to show up for practice every day. And we are practicing about 3 songs. We don't have a concert that is coming. So ndigufata ya discipline nize muri South Africa, and I'm trying to apply it.
Right?
And then, of course, these kids were really interested in it. Everyone that I recruited specifically people who wanted to dance and they had a certain skill that they were bringing on stage, right?
Yeah.
And many times I would recruit and also tell you that we cannot continue with you. Like you had to look for specific people who have the right attitude, who can drive the crew where we want to be. And then Casanova, who was also in Cool Family.
Shout out to Casanova, man.
Shout out to Casanova. He hit me up. He's like, Ganza, I want Fespad. I don't know if you remember Fespad.
I remember Fespad. So it was the joint where everybody would, hang out at.
Yes.
It would, shout out to Fespad people, man. That was the only hangout back in the day.
I know. Yeah. That joint was amazing. So he hit me up, Kasa, and he told me, hey, we are they are looking for dancers and they are paying good money. So by the time ndi kujendayo, I realized that some of the guys who were dancing in the crew had people who are working within that office who would provide contracts. And they already had the rumor of how disciplined Six City was. So they were like, you know what, we're going to give you a place to dance. All right, it's all good. It's whatever we can get. If we can dance in front of people, I again get a phone call from Casanova. And he tells me, Ganza, I've tripled your price. These people are going to pay you 90,000. They're going to pay 90,000.
Back in the day?
90,000 francs.
Yeah, that was a lot.
It was at that age. Like, you ain't got nothing you're paying for. So I was like, okay. And then we started practicing. And then we really, really got into it because now we had an objective. Like, we wanted to really impress the people of Espad. Yeah. And then the day comes, we completely kill it. Like we killed it. Like it's something that I truly remember at the back of my mind where I really I was even dancing, and I got to a point I was freezing because I was so impressed by what my dance mates were doing. I was like, this is crazy what we have created here.
Yeah.
And at that point on, everybody who had an event, had something going on, they were calling us in. And then that's where we had the upper hand on any other crew that was in the country because we maintained some kind of professionalism approaching the game. Feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Fast forward, you're taking over,
Yeah.
the basically the music industry, show in general, you're performing, to all these venues and stuff like that. Cool Families long gone, Teens United is long gone, and now you get to the point where you decide to come to the States. What
Yeah.
what you know when did you first decide you were going to the States, basically?
I didn't decide, bro.
Mhm.
I feel like I was forced out here. It was, I didn't want to leave Rwanda, to
Mhm.
be honest. I never wanted to leave Rwanda because
Mhm.
mainly I had some kind of roots.
Mhm.
Of course, I had a crew that I was
Mhm.
responsible for.
Mhm.
I had obligations, whether it was the radio, whether it was relationships I had built at the time.
Mhm.
So I wasn't really even ready to go anywhere. However, the opportunity came about to go
Mhm.
to America,
Mhm.
and I thought, okay, I'm going to just explore it. But
Yeah.
in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm probably not going to get this visa. So it is what it is. Let me just try it. So I have, I
Yeah,
tried it.
it's never sure, 100%.
Never, never. So I tried it, and it so happens that they called me. They told me I got it. I was like, you know
Uh-huh.
what? Since I got it, I might as
Mm.
well just go out there and
Yeah.
really take advantage of this thing. So I didn't. I always knew. I always knew that pursuing a higher education wasn't my goal. I
Mhm.
never. I never always wanted to. It because not because I knock anyone that does so,
Mhm.
but for me personally, I'm more of a practical person. I
Mhm.
go in a field, I study the field, it defeats me, I fall, I get
Mhm.
up, I come back to it again until I grasp on how things move.
Mhm.
So
It's called
what
life.
it's just a bit of life. I got
Absolutely.
bachelor's in life.
Mhm.
So it was it was that instance that I realized, you know what, I'm just gonna explore how things are going. So I never had the intention of even going to university. I
Mhm.
was working at a radio show. I
Mhm.
was working at Contact. I was
Mhm.
sponsored by Rwandatel at the time, getting a
Mhm.
good paycheck. And I felt like coming to America for what? Like,
Mhm.
I'm good. So it happens that I come to America. I'm starting to even decide what things I want to pursue in the university. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, international business it is. So I get
Mhm.
there. So I come to the United States, and it's a whole different ballgame. It was my first place to live. I lived in Iowa.
Mhm.
And you're going through all that. You're going through the orientation at school. I'm like, okay, this stuff is good.
Mhm.
So in my mind, growing up, education had left some kind of stain, for me,
Yeah.
because I'm one of those. I believe I was one of those kids who had ADHD, whereby I can't really sit still in class.
I feel you.
I had a serious problem of sitting in still in
Yeah.
class, and I always say that I
It's
was the
called being
smartest.
smart.
I always say that I was the smartest guy with the lowest grades. Like it was, it was just like I just didn't feel like I could sit still for 3 hours. I always wanted to do practice. But if I went to like art class, like in the same school, if they put me in an art class,
Mhm.
I would like be zoned in. Niba
Mhm.
turino gukora ikibumba cyangwa gushushanya ikintu, I
Mhm.
always was zoned in. However, I just didn't have. There was no structure in Rwanda
Yeah.
at the time that could provide me with what I was passionate about.
Yeah.
So the standard is what everyone followed.
Mhm.
So coming to America, I went into international business. A few months in there, and I realized it wasn't really my thing too. So I was
Mhm.
like, what is I'm in the land of opportunities. What else can I really pursue? And I
Mhm.
realized that I've always had a passion for cameras and
Yeah.
movement
Yeah.
and telling stories. I'm a great storyteller.
Mhm.
Actually, taking you back a little bit, in P5, primary five, I used to have this teacher called Asha.
Mm-hmm.
Asha was an Indian. She was Indian, and she was a class teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to always promise the class that if they behaved, she would allow Ganza to tell them a story at the end of the day. You know, and
Wow,
she would really
impressive.
list that in my reports all the
Mm-hmm.
time. That he's a great storyteller, even though he can sit still in class. This
Mm-hmm.
this was one of those teachers that I never forgot,
Mm-hmm.
because she truly saw the potential in me in the field that was completely outside of what she was occupying. She could
Wow.
see that I was aiming for something at a very young age. She could see something. So coming out here, I already knew what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I'd worked on multiple videos in Rwanda, whether it was Casanova's video,
Mm-hmm.
Dance Floor. I'd performed in there and co-directed with Meddy Saleh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then multiple videos that I got involved in, to a point I was just soaking in information again. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a kind of person that shows up and starts to learn from the environment that he's in. So coming to America, I heard about this school, Full Sail University,
Mm-hmm.
and I put in my application, and I got admitted. Got everything, and I packed my things and I moved to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history from there. I basically pursued digital cinematography as
Wow,
as my
impressive.
major,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and entertainment business,
Mm-hmm.
which were the fields that I'm passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
and all that started to even attract more opportunities towards my way. I got my first project, surprisingly. So I told you that I lived in South Africa.
Yeah.
So what I didn't tell you about South Africa is that I had this guy who was an idol,
Mm-hmm.
someone I used to admire. His name was Double HP.
Mm-hmm.
Double HP in full is Hip Hop Ansula.
Mm-hmm.
He passed, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but in 2010 I got a deal to go work on a music video with him. So it was one of those big things in my life, because this was a huge artist. So my
Mm-hmm.
ticket was paid for, flew out there. So it was because of the tools that Full Sail gave me
Mm-hmm.
that allowed me to express myself through practice. And through practice, through the internet, this artist in South Africa found my work and immediately wanted to get in touch with me and figure out how he can fly me to South Africa to work on a project. And
Wow.
then it was just mind blowing how everything was really coming together when I started really doing what I love.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much how it went when it came to the United States. In
Wow.
summary, basically, yeah,
Man, see that is as they say, hard work pays off. Like someone like that, even though he passed, rest in peace, a double HP man,
yeah,
but tomorrow it could be Chris Breezy. You feel me?
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
um, the talent is still there. The credentials are there.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So there's always a possibility that and things like that can happen. But
yeah,
so you know transitioning from the US. So I'm trying to kind of uh, let's step
yeah,
back to where you actually worked at Contact, because
mm,
Contact FM, you obviously interviewed people, right?
yeah, yeah,
And that was even before you actually got professionally trained as far as you know uh, college level journalism and
yeah,
everything like that. It was just
yes,
raw talent based
raw talent.
on just being able to do be versatile basically,
Yes, sir. Yes,
right?
sir.
So how did you come about getting that job, and uh, do you is that something that one of the many talents that you would like to explore eventually?
Absolutely. Actually, um, looking looking back on how it happened, I didn't even really apply for the job. I had no idea on how it even works. But we used to show up a lot with my friends at Contact. And I had a lot of friends that worked within Contact. So when I came back to South Africa, of course, with the impression that I'd left in Rwanda before I went to South Africa, people already had known me as a great dancer. So when I came back to Rwanda, some people wanted to have an interview with me to talk about, okay, how is South Africa, you know? So when I got in there and I started, it actually the show was called Route 66. And Route
I
66
know.
had on,
I remember Route 66, man.
yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they invited me on there, and I think it was the first time I really got exposed
Yeah.
to how the radio was working. You know, people like Sasha,
I think it
Aguma,
was Sasha and
Lionel,
Lionel.
Lutez,
Yeah,
like
and
all of
Che.
them.
Was it Che?
Yeah, che.
Yeah,
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 yeah. Those
yeah.
are the people. Yeah, it's
And
pretty much cool family.
Chaka.
Chaka, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was that was the exposure I got there. Like I got there and I saw the power of communication
Yeah.
of people, because all these people were not professional journalists,
Yeah.
but they were just on there really to talk about the life experiences. I think we
Right.
explored podcasts
Yeah.
before
Absolutely.
podcasts existed,
Yeah.
you know. And
Actually, we invented podcast before
yeah,
even got here.
we need our credit. We need our credit for that.
People don't even know that. You know?
They don't.
You know,
They don't.
I'm telling you, man, back in the day, like I remember when, Route 66, started, it was amazing. People started being drawn towards, radio
Yes.
more than it was before.
Yes. People are tuning in.
Yes.
So that was my exposure there. And then the boss, the guy who has been running things in Rwanda, Albert Rudatsimburgwa, really took an interest in what I was doing, how I really
shout out to Albert, man.
Yes, Albert, an amazing person. So he hit me up. It was in the morning. He called me. He's like, I want to talk to you about something. I went there. He's like, okay, I have this idea. He always had these ideas. He throws them on the wall, and then you work on it, and then you get like one thing that you guys are going, one objective that you guys are going to aim at. And he was really a genius at that. You know, he was able to just get the right people and have them together. So naturally, me, when you throw a task at me, I start figuring out how to ensure that I complete that task at the best way possible, right? So we started off with a show called New Power Generation. And New Power Generation, it was all about just having conversations, the youth conversations. And, eventually, as New Power Generation was going, Albert called me in the office again and he told me, hey, I'm giving you your own slot. Your own slot, decide who you want there on there. It's yours. Do what you want. No commercials running in the middle. And whoever brings us money, you get a cut. And I get to pay you too. It was a sweet deal for me. I was like, okay, let's go. And then I was like, what are we gonna talk about? So I called my boy Cedric, who was my co-presenter and co-host.
And that's the guy you were in the dancing crew with? Okay.
Yes, same dance troupe. And we came in and we started really breaking down what our intentions are with the radio. Okay, we are here. We can't always just sit here and start talking about our feelings. It's getting boring. We gotta figure out.
That's funny.
We were really breaking it down. Like it has always been about a piece of paper with us, how we organize ourselves. We put a piece of paper, we put a name, and then we start breaking down exactly where we're trying to aim for. Like, what are we trying to do? Okay. And then we came up with the show. It was like RDT Street. So we took it from Route 66 to RDT Street. We're taking you to an unfamiliar territory where we're going to touch on subjects that you're not comfortable about. Know? So we touched on subjects about pathological lying, things that are encouraged by our culture, the structure of our culture, how people grow up not to be supported by their parents. We would have those very hard conversations.
Mm-hmm.
However, the show was also about promoting music. It
Mm-hmm.
was strange. It was a show you would come on one day, and today we're talking about beef between uh, uh, KGB and P-Fly. You know,
Yeah.
you're on there, and Jashusha in the streets,
Yeah.
everyone is talking about it. You're like, I want to talk about it too. So we were always in tune of what the streets was talking. So we were always in touch with them. But also we always had subjects that people would participate in, and
Mm-hmm.
people would call in, and we would talk about how to support your children's talent, how it
Mm-hmm.
could be beneficial along the way. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, like looking back at what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
even though I didn't know much of what I know now,
Mm-hmm.
of course, if I go back to Rwanda, Ganza is ever going to be on the radio or TV. It's just
Mm-hmm.
going to, it's naturally that. I'm still looking
Mm-hmm.
at it as in, I want to be somewhere I can talk to people
Mm-hmm.
and share information that I either get from a book or I get from somewhere that I feel would be of beneficial to anyone who's listening. So
Straight
I've
wisdom.
always positioned myself there. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
always want to be the person to be the student teacher. I want to be able to teach people because I'm a constant student. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely being on the radio is definitely on my mind, and
Absolutely,
that
man.
is the reason.
As you should, because
Yeah.
as a king of the dance hall, um, as a a radio presenter, as a trained producer, videographer, anything related to artistry, you have a combination of you deserve, man. You did, in my mind, in my opinion, you deserve to have your own show anywhere, any day, whether it's in Rwanda or here. You know what I mean? You got what it takes. In my opinion. You know what I mean? Um, so moving back from Rwanda to here, I was trying to balance, on the uh, being an artist, being a video producer, being a dancer, being a radio personality in Rwanda, and then coming here, being trained. Now you had this original talent. You know what I mean? Like innate talent. You come here, you're like, you know what? Let me go get trained, have all these series of passions. Let me actually get professionally trained. That way I can, you know, be able to actually uh, get to a point where I can, express my talent better in the US. So who are, did you continue to work with, any artists as far as choreography, video production, photography, or, anything like that? Did you continue to work with, anybody as far as music or performance in general?
Yes, sir. I've worked with Meddy
Hmm.
on many things. I've worked on Ben on many things. Uh, Various artists, whether it's consultation, whether it's ideas, whether it's creative management. I've always been. I'm just humbled.
Hmm.
Honestly, I'm really humbled to be in a position where these individuals can reach me
Hmm.
and be able to take my advice or even really try to take my insight on things,
Right.
and it's a beautiful thing because one, it's that we all recognize our strengths,
Hmm.
uh, and and when it comes to artistry, you cannot be the master of it all.
Yeah.
I could go on the radio, I could dance, I could do this, but my initial the thing that I really do know how to do for real is
Hmm.
dance. Like if we're gonna go to dance, and it structures from that point on to anything. That means if I can dance, that means I can write music.
Hmm.
So when it comes to any artist, my contributions are mainly as a dancer.
Hmm.
Even the advice I give or anything, it comes from the base of being a dancer
Yeah.
because How I reacted to a video of Michael Jackson is something that stays with me. How I reacted to an Usher video, it's always something that still fascinates me. So now I'm in the position where I want to be behind that content to be created. Let it be made in Rwanda so that you can see it, you know?
Right.
And yeah, so I've worked with various artists, and there's actually more projects that are coming out, things that are really gonna blow people's minds.
I can't wait.
It's quite amazing, nah, bro. Like, and it's amazing, like, because me and Meddy, me and Meddy have always been in touch ever since in Rwanda, right?
Shout out to Meddy and
Shout
Tiger
out to
B,
the
by the
guy.
way. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it was our relationship was solely based on dancing, because he's a dancer too. He's fundamentally a dancer, you know. And first time he approached me, it was at Isho Center in Kachiru. And that's where I used to do most of my practice. That was my base of practice. And we were practicing for, is it Akaramata? There was a song we were trying to create choreography for. But unfortunately, a week after we planned that choreography, I left Rwanda. That's how surprising it was about me leaving Rwanda. I wasn't ready to leave Rwanda. The industry was growing already. Navuye mu Rwanda 2009. Ibintu biko byari bitangiye gushyuha. So I had no intentions of leaving. Like, sinabyumvaga aho bashaka kuntwara. Meddy is packing stadiums, Ben is packing stadiums. This is the time I want to be here.
Yeah, then, you can get money.
You know, like it was for us. For us, it was more than money. You know, it has always been more than money, because the money aspect of it, it was always love. It was always the love of, one, we've seen the country being built from scratch.
Yeah.
We did little to nothing to it. So the only weapon we got right now is this knowledge we have about entertainment. And entertainment means culture, because you can't approach entertainment without speaking of culture. So culture, how uko twahuraga, niba ngiye kuvugana na Busy B cyangwa ndi kuvugana na Super Tall, or you're talking to Meddy, you're talking to the band, it seemed like the mission was put Rwanda on the map. Let's put the country on the map, considering our history, you know.
And that is a very important way of looking at things. Kubera ko uribuka ko mu Rwanda abantu benshi bumvaga indirimbo za hano cyane, hano muri Amerika. Ariko njya mu Rwanda, iyo abantu bacuranga music, genge nafite mind yo kumva baraza gucuranga indirimbo za hano, ariko nagera hano ngasanga barimo baririmba indirimbo z'abanyarwanda gusa.
Yes.
That is what you call pride, kabisa, and I'm very proud of those guys, for real.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Absolutely. It's a constant thing. It's an owl. The fact that Meddy now can get 1 million views in a week, you know, that is huge.
Absolutely amazing.
You know, like sometimes when like I look at him and I'm like, how do you feel about this thing? This used to be a dream. We used to talk about these things happening, and now they are happening. Like, what is the definition of this? And now it's more about, okay, let's multiply, because it had never been about money. It had never been about me being better than anybody or even them. It was mostly about, how can we make sure that the next generation has the confidence and the understanding that there is no limitations in the world, right?
Yes, sir.
There's nothing that limits you. We've been disadvantaged, yes. Whether we even go to school, tukajya kwiga abantu twigaga niba Napoleon Bonaparte, ntabwo twiga ba Nyerere, cyangwa twiga ngo ba Sankara, twiga Napoleon, tukiga na Louis the 13th, you know? Yeah. And you're like, okay, at the end of the day, now the whole idea of what Africa, the continent, is in the hands of the people who release content like you do, like I do. you
Yes,
know?
sir. Mm.
Like we are the people really we have a responsibility to make sure that people see us different than
Mm-hmm.
people who are here for charity. No,
Yeah.
we are here to contribute to the
Yeah.
global market. We
Mm-hmm.
want to compete because we have the tools. Why can't we?
Mm-hmm.
And the challenge has always been about people asking, "Ese nichi movanam,
Mm.
achomvanam." I'm not. I'm at service. Like the thing
Yeah.
is that people are looking for something to take out of
It,
something.
it's never been about what you get out of it.
It's all about how you serve.
Yeah, it's passion first. If
Yeah,
what you get out of it,
yeah,
is part of the equation eventually,
yes,
then
yeah,
so be it.
yeah, yeah.
Even
Absolutely,
better. You know what I mean?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. However, it has to come. It has to come from a place where you're first willing to give,
Yes, sir.
to receive. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the thing is, people want to receive before they give anything. As a matter of fact, they are monitoring how much they are giving just to see whether they are not losing it all. You know, but there's an abundance of there's an abundance that can
Yeah.
be given. You know,
Yeah.
people want that kind of service. You know,
Yeah.
people want to know, people want to dream. You know, people want to dream, and when I look back and I didn't have anything to look up to other than these people who are rapping in the States or dancing in the States
Mm-hmm.
within the country, nta muntu narebaga nkavuga, I want to emulate what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
But of course, through leadership, there are many things, whether you're looking at your president or
Yeah.
you're looking how the country is building, all these things were motivating us, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, wabona Nyarutara mu mwaka umwe hari umukungugu wundi hagakurikira harimo kaburimbo, that has a psychological effect on a person. You start
Absolutely.
really seeing really what it means to build from ground up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you become more immune to, you start growing far as your endurance starts to grow.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's so right now, like the question you asked, I'm just I'm working with whoever really meets me. If
Yeah.
you're able to really meet me at where I'm at, you know,
Yeah.
creative wise, then there's always some magic that can be created.
Yes, sir.
So records like At the Top,
Mm-hmm.
I co-wrote, choreographed, and many more stuff is gonna be coming, and
Yeah.
I'm excited as to where this thing is going. It's quite intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, I can't ask you for what's coming. We're just gonna, wait and see. But we don't have any doubt that it's gonna be dope.
Yeah,
Among my favorite songs, man. At the top, it's
hmm
for some reason every time I'm going to work,
yeah,
or driving back from work, man, I just for some reason, man, I'm a hip hop guy,
yeah,
R&B guy.
yeah.
Uh, I'm one of those guys that delayed taking the heat, or the fever, if you like,
Mhm.
of feeling the African, not just Rwandan music, like African music in general.
African music,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean? I ended up being a fan.
Oh, awesome.
Now,
Yeah,
I don't like to, I don't listen to Chris Brown as much. I just listen to At the Top. I listen
yeah,
to, the band. I listen to all those, all those guys like Bruce Melody and all those other
yeah,
artists.
yeah.
And I'm very, very proud of those guys, man.
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
amazing.
Yes.
But the reason why I'm saying that is I just would like to give you my listen. People should be able to receive their flowers while they're still alive,
Yes, sir.
and be able to
Yeah.
smell them, bro.
Yes.
I remember when I was still in Rwanda, looking at I don't remember exactly what video it was, but like seeing you guys dance like in a music video, like giving
Mm.
all this crazy choreography, and you're still doing the same thing in 2020.
Yes, sir.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Mhm.
When you look at songs like At the Top,
Uh-huh.
That's the kind of choreography that I can literally like remember. Like after watching that, I can literally remember that the next day. So kudos to you and my man Meddy and uh, all these other guys, man. You guys are putting Rwanda on the map, and I think you deserve more credit than people give you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just want to tell people that Ganza is over a few days that I've known him, he's n'umuntu wicishe bugufi cyane. Urebye CV ye ukareba abantu yakoranye nabo ukareba ibintu yakoze, ni umuntu wicishe bugufi nta nubwo avuga ibintu byinshi yakoze. Um, Gusa ibikorwa byonyine namwe ubwanyu murabyibonera. Uh, Ganza kabisa, I'm very proud of you.
Thank
Projects zose ufite
you.
turazitegereje, nta nubwo we don't have any doubt ko zizaba nziza. Let me give you this time to actually talk about different project that you've worked on kugira ngo abantu babyumve.
Absolutely. So project mbere ndi very proud of niyo nakoranye with Double HP. It's that is one of those projects that really sticks to my heart. Kuko ni umuntu wanyizeye atanzi tutarabonanye.
Yeah.
I can flying out to South Africa to work with him. Akantwara mu ma studio ya Channel Law, akantwara mu ma studio MTV Base.
Yeah, I remember those.
Kavugisha all kinds of executives and exposed me to many, many things. And then I also worked with Asheru. Asheru mu bantu batamuzi yakoze theme song ya cartoon yitwa The Boondocks.
Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan of Boondocks.
Yeah, so if you listen to the theme song when it starts, the artist, his name is Asheru.
For real?
Yes, I shot.
Wow.
I shot a video with him. It's called Make Magic. It's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube on my channel. And of course, the other project I'm very proud of is At the Top. How it transpired. It was. It had been about Kununio, how that project even came along. It had been a while since I had been in the same room with Meddy, with Pastor P, the producer, these are two very busy people. They are constantly on the move. So when I sat down to start really coming up with the ideas or the bullet points, who like Meddy wanted to do, of course, Meddy contributing about like 97% of that whole thing because it's his talent that really speaks. It was, and of course, with the collaboration of Pastor P, we were able to come up with a good magic. So At the Top was one of those projects too. And then I was an executive producer on the music video, shooting for the band. I believe it was what's the name? It's a song with many girls. I'm forgetting the song is actually escaping me. There was also another song called Downtown, Downtown by Meddy and another upcoming artist called Nish from Canada. So those are the projects. I've also worked with people like Hoodwink, worked with Alfad Guirangira. I worked with Casanova. Those are all music videos as a director. And then I've worked on many projects with also Wamahoro, Angel.
Yeah, Malaika. Shout out to Malaika. Malaika is best friends with my wife, man.
Absolutely, an
amazing she's awesome.
person, amazing soul. Yeah, I've my CV is still growing, and I'm really looking to attract even more projects my way. And we currently just wrapped up another video which you guys have to wait. I can't even tell you who the artist
Yeah,
is, but
please. Hey, I understand. I understand.
it's a
You
problem,
know,
bro.
I can't even get into that right now.
You guys, it's gonna blow your minds. I don't think I've been proud about something for a long time
Yeah,
until this thing that is about to come out. I think it's gonna, and I'm in the video. You guys are gonna see me in there. You're gonna see
nice.
what I do,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's those are all the projects. I probably missed a couple,
yeah,
but yeah, I've at least collaborated with close to about like a good 50 artists, and it's always mind blowing that I'm even a part of these things, because it's just truly humbling to
yeah.
be able to be around such great and people, such greatness, and people willing to see the country moving forward, and even the
Yes, sir.
continent. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
it's a beautiful thing. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Man, listen, we're gonna have to um, we're gonna have to do part two at some point. I don't know. Whenever that project comes out, we're gonna have to
Absolutely,
do part two because
definitely.
talking to you, absolutely, man, is amazing.
Yes, sir.
We can't talk about everything in this little time that we have. I know you're busy. You got family, you got things to do.
Yes, sir.
But definitely, we're gonna have to find another time to talk
I know.
about certain other achievements. So I just gotta. Oh, wait, listen. I have. I can't finish this conversation without telling you this.
Yeah.
My daughter Skylar
Yeah.
loves this song by Meddy and
Yeah.
Otile Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I put it on my page.
Yeah.
It's insane. She's going crazy. So if you can tell Meddy
Yes.
that my daughter is basically number one fan, that would make my day and her day.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
That would
We'll
be
love to hear that.
absolutely. If you want, just go on my page and you'll see it. That's the only thing she learned how to say so far.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So speaking of your page, can you
Yeah.
tell your fans or people who are watching you where your page is?
Yes,
You
sir.
know, your,
You
you know your social media, account and stuff like that.
absolutely. You can find me on Facebook. It's facebook.com slash Ganza Empire
Mm-hmm.
as one word.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also find me on Instagram. It's Ganza under slash Aimhaya,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Aimhaya. And you can also find me on Twitter, Ganza under slash Aimha. Gher. So
Okay.
yeah, you can find me on all
Absolutely.
those platforms. It's all Ganza. And the
Okay.
first Ganza you see there, click on it.
All right. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my big homie Ganza,
Yes,
one of
sir.
the best entertainers in East Africa. It's not just
Uh,
Rwanda, because hey, by the way, I've been watching him, even myself, since I was in Rwanda and still am in America.
yes, sir.
Please follow him on all his platform outlets. Um, it was a great pleasure talking to you, my brother.
Absolutely. And before you go, I have to
Mhm.
also commend you for doing this.
Yes, sir.
Like you're an extremely positive person.
Thank you, sir.
I truly believe that this initiative that you've taken
Hmm.
is something that is gonna bear like fruit for you, like
Hmm.
in the very near future,
Yes, sir.
because you're a genuine person, and I'm truly, truly, truly humbled that I'm a part of this,
Thank
that
you, sir.
I've been able to talk to you right now. And I'm looking forward to even sharing other conversations that are outside of entertainment,
Hmm.
and really see how deep we can really go, how
Yes,
much
sir.
depth we can dig in. It's a great pleasure, man, talking to you, and I truly believe great things are coming towards you, and I just can't. I'm pretty stoked for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much. You might start at the lowest, lowest point, ugatangirira hasi hashoboka hose. Ushobora gutangira utazi ibyo ugomba gukora, utanabyizeye, utizera ko bizakunda. Ariko mu by'ukuri urebye nka voyage yawe, nk'urugendo rwawe watangiriyeho Ganza, n'aho ugeze n'icyizere wabigizemo, ibintu byose birashoboka.
Absolutely.
And nagira ngo mbwire abana, nk'uko uvuze initiative y'iki kiganiro. Ikiganiro ni ikiganiro cyagenewe gutera mbese kwankuraje cyangwa se gutera imbaraga tuvuge abana vala abana bakuze wenda badafite ababashyigikiye, cyangwa bakuze mu buryo wenda babakene, cyangwa bakuze badafite amikoro, bakuze badafite iki n'iki, kugira ngo bagere ku ntego nziza bifuza mu buzima. Nagira ngo mbifurize, nagira mbabwire, mbatere imbaraga, mbifurize ko byose bishoboka. Mbese to never give up.
Absolutely.
To follow your passion and to eventually help others once they make it. Ntabwo ari byiza yuko ugeze ahantu hari comfortable wibagirwa aho wageze, kubera ko aho wanyuze niho hatumye uri aho uri uyu munsi. So that's the message of the day. And bitewe n'umutumirwa wacu uyu munsi, wenda nuko mwebwe mwaba mutamuzi, ariko he's one of the most humble guys I've ever met. Nibyo yagezeho byose ntushobora kubimenya utamubajije ngo agusobanurire urugendo rwe. So ni ukuvuga ko nawe ushobora kuhagera, ariko uburyo ushobora kuhagera bisaba discipline, bisaba kwitanga, bisaba commitment, bisaba no kubikunda. Icyo ukunda cyose wakigeraho, icyo ukora cyose wagera ku byiza bitewe n'ibyo ukora. And that's all I'm gonna say. That's the message of the day. And my big homie Ganza, my man.
Sir.
Yeah, let's do part 2, man.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, man. Anytime.
Yes, sir.
Anytime.
Yes, yo, that was my boy Ganza, the entrepreneur, the CEO, the father, the husband, the everything, the most humble guy I've ever met. And that's, my favorite guy. So this is your boy Moonlight from the Moonlight channel. Highlight your boy anytime. Comment, click on that bell, and follow your boy, and subscribe. And most importantly, you can give your opinion or ask a question, and we'll get back to you. Highlight your boy. Peace.